Hey guys, this is Adrian. I'm coming back with my man here, D. I don't get to see him too much from Advanced Basics Training. We were training partners for a while, and you know, we got a lot of talking, a lot of philosophy going on, and this guy's just run with it, brought it back to his ball, and I mean, the stuff he's putting out, y'all should check out if you're into basketball for sure. So check out what we're doing. He brought a challenge to me, and I'm gonna see how this flies.
So the first crossover we're going to do is what we call a step back crossover. The whole idea of this crossover is to create separation, to pull your defender up, and then to cross the ball over. So I'll do for you in slow motion. So I'm here, I step back, then I cross over. Just an important note on this front foot has to go across their top foot, right? So I'm here, I step back, then I cross over.
So looking at this, the loading is the major piece of this. He's stepping back to produce power and then crossing it from there. So the most important part of that, there's chains of the body that run cross body, and that's the one he's got to work with, and you need to make them efficient on both ways. He may have a stronger hand, but the point is that he needs to be able to do that the opposite way. So show it the opposite hand.
Oh, that's not as strong. So step back, cross over.
And he said it, he just said it. He said, you know, it's not as strong. So the point is you want to remove all that, you know, weakness on that side, instead of always just, you know, using that step back and always the same foot going backwards. So, you know, exercise variation wise, I think, you know, talking about it, I think the way to go is a 45-degree instep lunge, which I'm going to show him, and I'm going to have him show actually with the ball, palms, because I think that's the real way to practice this. So a 45-degree instep lunge, you have to understand that I'm trying to load. Okay, so if the ball's in my right hand, I'm trying to load and then cross. So if you can see what's going on there, I'm essentially 45-degree laterally lunging or reverse lunging. The other part about that is when I get here in slow-mo, I would be loading to change direction. So there's a couple things in there. The big thing I want to talk about is if you're going to take a sport-specific movement and turn it into a sport-specific drill or exercise that you're going to do, don't only practice within the range of motion that you'd be normally doing it. Increase your range of motion. Increase the load, increase the speed, decrease the speed, play with all of the variables, and we can write out the variables in the description. That's a big thing. So he could take a 4-pound medicine ball, he could take a 10-pound medicine ball, that would be changing the load, okay? He could wear a weight vest, that would be changing his load. You could change the speed at which I do it. I might take this really slow and carve it out, right? I might take it slow and carve it out. I may do it super fast to see how reactive I can be. So if I ask him to do that, same drill on his strong side, and I tell him speed up, speed up, speed up, speed up, that's not going to be a problem. You'd probably just get more efficient at it. If I told him to do that on his weaker side, it's going to get sloppy when I increase a certain speed. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So 45-degree instep lunge, okay? Works all the hips, good loading exercise. The main thing is that I need to pay attention to my lower back posture. I'm going to show it from the side and from the front. So 45 degrees would be this direction. I'm going to be reaching for my instep, hence the name. So I'm going to instep with my foot, and I'm up. Okay. Instep up, I increase the speed. Okay, let me show it from the side. Watch my lower back. Okay. Major thing is that when I get down there, I'm upright, because I need to be traveling the direction. I need to be upright to be able to travel. Okay? You want to make that a little more advanced, alternate your legs instead of staying on that same leg. So, you know, he may have to do that drill with his strong side and then immediately have to do it again with his weak side. So this is the alternating of the legs. Right? Now watch. I can feel that I have a slowness on the other side. Okay. So choosing a core exercise, I want him to show this again. I've got to look at what's going on with the ball and producing power with his body. So he's going to show it again.
So step back, cross over.
Okay. So if I look at that, like I said, there's the loading factor. If I have to look at where power is traveling through, he has to produce a lot of power from the shoulder to shoot into the cross, and happen slightly before that foot. So my point is that most of his core power is coming from the side of the ball and mostly through the shoulder. So again, it doesn't have to look like the movement to make it work. What it needs to do is move the same muscles or produce the same power in relatively the same motion. Okay, so here's the exercise I want to do. You can do a push-up, put one hand on the medicine ball and do a lock-off. Okay, so I'm producing power to transfer through one side of my body. So here's what it looks like. Feet somewhat wide, my hips are flat.
Now I got a question for this.
Yeah.
Do you want to go down slowly and then shoot up fast? Or do you, once again, it's okay to play with the pace of it?
Play, and he's got it right. Play with the pace. At first, always, he needs to load slow. Just like on this reversal jump with load slow. Because what's going to happen if I load too quick, I might lose my knee. I might twist my hips. I might drop my chest. I need to carve it out slowly, and then I can work on the speed of getting down, okay, on the reverse lunge. So same with a push-up. I actually like to do these a little plyometrically, where I might be but I wouldn't start there, I would start slow. Now, that's my right hand, that's easy. I can feel the instability of my left shoulder because it's just not my strong side. So if I had to produce power in that crossover from my left side, it's just not going to be as strong. So I need to work on that stability as much as the power, because when I'm up here and I go to step cross, I'm still going to have that same problem of needing stability or being in the right place in my shoulder to produce that power through the shoulder and through the core. So that would be my core exercise. So I'm going to get him to try that on both of these drills. So I want him as a pond to show up. First, just the regular reverse lunge, where my feet are going to be together.
Yeah.
How quick can you get to the ground?
Palm, that's tough. That's tough with palming the ball.
So see how he's playing with where the angle is best. Okay, try the other leg.
This one will have to be slow.
Come over there. Yeah. And then he works on speed, both with the palm and with that lunge, to build it up, because that's the tough part. Okay, now to make it really challenging, I want him to alternate the ball. So he's got to get down, palm the other side, down, palm the other side. This is the most advanced version he'd be able to do. Keep it the same speed. Perfect, perfect. So, okay, that's the most advanced version. It got better as he went, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Repetitions.
So I want him to show that one arm lock off. So push up to one arm lock off. He's going to slap his other shoulder. He's going to slap the shoulder with the ball. Now, one thing I would change is, where would you put your hands for a push up? So show me just a regular push up. Where would you put your hands? That's exactly where the ball should go. It shouldn't change position. He wanted to put it out wide to the side, which doesn't, he's outside his body. So I want you to get the hand right on top. The hand position doesn't change. Your chest is still going to end up here. So when he transfers into this arm, he's slightly having to come to his right side or move his body cross body, which is what that throw is. Okay, now try the other one.
After 500 push-ups,
Yeah. Feet are wide, that ball's under the shoulder. He's going to cross the body instead of the ball, which will get you stronger at it. Good. Okay. So that'd be the core exercise. Now what I want him to do is try that step back crossover at a faster speed and see if it actually improved the feeling of it.
Woo!
And try again. Try the other side.
I'm gonna say, feel the explosiveness out of the arm, right? So you feel the step is light, which is what you want, and the explosiveness all comes from your arm. And then the other arm.
So can you see how when he goes to step back, the change of direction and the power he's able to produce through that arm to cross and step is there. So that's that one arm push up, and that's that cross body reach. Okay, just give it a try.
Okay, so the second crossover that we're gonna work on is the step over crossover. So this, when you start flat, and it's really about speed and quickness to get the ball across and to step over your defender's front foot. So you're just turning flat, you'll be doing the bar crossover, step over.
Okay, so talking about speed, which is really a product of power, I want you to go really slow with that.
So it's dribble, cross, step.
So there's a point when he is, try that again. Pause. Keep going. Okay, pause. Okay, so pause right there. This foot midair. There is a point when his one foot, so contralateral, which is opposite sides, his left foot and his right hand are where power is being produced. This is full crossbody chain, and his core is tight from the oblique down. This is the part that's flexing the most. His hip flexor, his core, this leg is kind of just hanging out. Okay, so try that again. Try a couple of them. Okay, so the other major element is timing. So if I'm looking at timing here, he has to, show again, his ball obviously has to go just before his foot. And the more just before his foot the cross happens, the better. Right?
Yeah, a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah, because somebody's going to be able to see it.
Yeah, and it's tougher to steal, because if I go here, wait, and step, someone's arm can get in the way.
Right.
So the faster you can get it across, the less time there is for the hand to come across because you're shutting it down.
Right. Okay. So looking at what's happening with his feet, so just show it one more time. Okay, so he's actually going from his left foot to his right foot for power, and then back to his left. So show it again, slow down. If he had to go, he's going to go. Right? So can you feel that shift of the body before you step?
Yeah, I definitely feel it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in first step quickness, there's really only two major ways that you can step forward. It's either a drop step or a true first step. So what I mean by that is if I'm standing here, I got two choices. Say something's going to fall off the counter. Okay. I got two choices to reach for it. Either true first step or a drop step. Does that make sense? One has a lot more power than the other. So if I'm here and I just reach, that's the whole action I've created. And there is a coiling within the body, don't get me wrong. But my foot pattern is there. Whereas if I load and transfer or full drop step and transfer, that's how I'm going to produce power in that shift of my body before the cross. So the exercise or speed variation I would do is just actually practicing the drop step. But let's keep it interesting. Let's keep it sport specific. I'm going to put the ball out and I'm going to step myself far enough away that I can't physically reach that. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the drop step, opposite side reach. Okay? Okay? I might go way out here and way back. The further away, the more power I have to produce. And I need to be able to do this without facial expression before. I need that calmness, right? I need to fake it. Bang, boom, go. He has no time to react. So I'm going to get David just to try that. So he's square because he told me he was square.
So step back.
And you're trying to leap. Okay, so sit. I don't know if you can notice that. I want to try it again. How fast can you do that? Try it again. Okay, so I want you to watch how fast I can do this. It's called quick coupling. The time it takes to load and go is your coupling time. Work on improving how fast I change directions. Let's try this again. Ball's quite a ways out there. How fast can you go? And now if that ball is that far out, fast and long. Okay, go back even further. Yeah. Okay, let's try the other side of your body because we know that that's the good side. Maybe reach to this side. Woo. Okay. So that's his speed drill. He's trying that. So now, for sake of argument, do that step, the crossover thing. Do it again. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you leap even more when you cross? now he can produce an even bigger crossover step to escape his defender. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So next one I'm looking at talking about, you know, core power. So do this again. Show it in slow mo. Remember what I said? There's a point where there's left leg, oblique hip flexors, what's tightest and what's holding him there, and he's producing power through to his shoulders. So the direction of core power is coming this way. So this is a neat little drill I picked up years ago. Okay, just looks badass when you're pulling it out too. So it's called a monster kick. Now you could throw a push-up at it if you really wanted to. It's unnecessary. It's more like breakdancing. So I'm going to be here in a nice push-up position, and I'm going to cross-body reach, cross-body reach, cross-body reach. Now that's simple enough. But remember we were saying about timing. So his hand that crossover has to happen just before the foot. So in the monster kick, my hand needs to leave just before I reach. Now crossbody. So I want David, try 20 of those, see if he can get his hand, and feel that out. If he can get his hand to leave the ground slightly before it, and it goes to reach for that toe. Okay, other side. Hand first. Just slightly before. Now crossing back and forth. And there you go. Okay. Now, in the abs, where do you feel it the most?
Feel firing like a cross, it starts to go across. Down in here, and then up in here. Yeah.
Okay. Try the drill again. Yeah. Other way. Other way. So there's a couple things. When he first showed it, he's leaping a lot further. He's a lot tighter in what he's doing. It looks neater. It looks finer. There's timing there, there's tightness, and there's a big step. Okay, try those drills.
Okay, so the final one that we have, the third one is going to be the pull crossover. This is my favorite. This is actually my favorite crossover, the pull crossover. Someone's guarding you really tight on the hip, and then all you do is you pull across, and then you cross it back over. So you want to extend them this way, so they move into this empty space while you cross the ball over.
Show it to me. Actually on, so where am I?
So you'd be here on my hip, right? So you'd be guarding me on my hip, and my whole point of this is to pull you this way, and then I'm going to cross the ball over.
So you're trying to get me to read and react and get away from me.
Exactly.
Or you're trying to get away from me.
I'm trying to get away from you, and then come back this way. So I'm pulling you out this way, and then I'm going across.
Okay, so take the ball away.
Yeah.
Okay. Show it to me. Just legs in front of the camera.
Okay.
So what's going on with his legs? I want you to watch.
So I pull, and then I cross.
Okay, show me again.
So pull, cross.
Okay, so what and this is a very long movement, yes?
Yes, it is.
One of the longer ones.
The wider the longer you can get it, the better. Especially the taller the opponent, the more you're really gonna have to pull them, because tall people don't need to be pulled, right?
Right. They can just stand placing.
Exactly. So you need to really pull them. So the longer the movement, the more effective it will be.
Right. Okay. So show me the ending of this movement. So he's got to pull one
So
way.
I pull, and then I cross it over.
Okay. So he needs to produce power. Basically, again, this quick coupling, this turnaround time he's doing. He's got to produce it as fast as possible from here to there. Right?
Yes. And on this one, on this crossover, there can be a slight pause right here, where you're waiting for that defender to move.
Perfect.
Right? Because if they don't move, then you're going to continue going through.
What happens? See how okay, do this again. See how his back foot slides back a little bit? The reason why it's sliding back from a biomechanics standpoint is because if he was, come this way, if he slid this way and his foot came directly forward, he's not very loaded, okay? So in the front, he's actually in a worse position, because if he had to cross, I could just get into him. via him, okay, so set it up, via him slightly stepping backwards with this leg, he's actually literally pulling me into a committed change of direction. I'm committing myself as the defender to be pulled in one direction, not only sideways, which is what he's originally thinking. He's actually via that back foot stepping back in relation to this one. He's pulling me this way. So he's got lateral change of direction, as well as forward change of direction for me and backward change of direction for him. But if I was to turn him sideways, okay, so try this again sideways. Pause. If you look at the hip mechanics, his knee bend, okay, is not that large. Same position. So his knee bend is not that much. His hip bend is a lot more. So my point is, he's actually loading his hip to change direction. He's not loading the knee. He's loading his hip. So the exercise that I would choose is what we call a hockey jump. Okay? And so a hockey jump, the idea behind a hockey jump is I'm going to be going from this direction to that direction to this direction. So skating, right? Now within a hockey jump, you've got three major factors. You have proper loading of the hip, which I just explained. Coupling time, so how fast I'm going from one direction to the next direction. And then the decision of what I'm going to do once I've landed the other direction. Because every time you've shown the pump, go again, show it again. Okay, so show it from this way, forward. That's powerful. This is powerful back, and then he's got a soft step. So somewhere in here you have a soft step, right? Yeah. Whether that's to run forward, you have to make another decision once he's finished.
What I'm going to do with it.
What you're going to do with it. But at first I need to be able to produce power, change direction. So, hockey jump. The way that I would start with this drill, and then further you need to experiment with it, is in a hockey jump I would start with one leg, jump to the other, pause, work on speed, change of direction. How much I'm actually loading, not necessarily down, but how much I'm loading my hip to fire back. I'm loading my hip. Now the other thing about this, and the reason why I chose the hockey jump, is because generally when I hockey jump, this foot goes backwards naturally to load. Right? If I'm skating with my other foot traveling backwards. So I'm gonna, okay, show me that hockey jump, where you're gonna start over here on one side. I want you to cross and back. So, right. And how far can you jump sideways? Okay, so looking at David, he actually has a weakness in being able to produce enough power through his hip. So my point is that when he gets out here, this change of direction wasn't any faster than his change of direction and decision to go this way. This was a certain speed, and the cross was a certain speed. What I need him to do, and what the hockey jump is going to do, is, okay, load, go. Load, go.
I got a question for you then.
Yeah.
Would it be better if I maybe then started automatically jumping slower from this side to understand that this side needs to go faster?
No, you only think about the side that you're going to be pivoting or changing direction off of. So if he's going to be changing direction off of his right foot, the only thing I care about is the outside glute and hip loading that's going to get me to move. That's the only thing I'm going to do. So how fast can you get back here? Okay. That's what I'm talking about, is there's the same speed over and over again. So let's work on this.
And this is because repetition.
How much can you, when you get here, it's that to change direction. How fast can you turn that around? Okay, see how short, when he tries to go quick, he goes shorter. Can he, over, because you told me the longer the pull, the better. Okay. So try a long and the other way. Long hockey jump. How much power can you produce off that right leg? Yes. Pauses. Boom. Go. Pauses. Boom. Pauses. Okay. Now try the other side. There we go. There we go. So now that timing started picking up. That speed started picking up. So he had a chance, which he's always going to in the pump crossover, or the pull crossover. He's going to have that chance to think about the movements he's going to create. And it may be a quick decision, but you have a second here to think about producing power and changing direction. So I want him to pause every time he gets here. Okay, so take a pause. Let's do 5 reps. You're going to pause every time you end up back on this left leg. Longer. Go. There you go. Okay, the right word for it is hot coals. Hot coals. Don't touch lat. Don't touch hot coals. What's the least amount of time I can still hip load and not spend any time on this foot? That's a quick couple. Try it both directions. Your foot should end up backwards and I should load. I would pause. Then you can work on multiples. Okay? So, and speeding it up, taking pauses every 5th one because I'm going to end up on a different one. So let's try that. Every 5th, he's going to pause.
So every 5th jump? Pause.
Every 5th step, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, pause. Go. 1, quicker. 2, 3, 4. 1, longer. 2, 3, 4. Pause. There you go. How much power do you have to produce to get over there quickly? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, now I've got to look at what's happening in his core midsection. So I'm going to get back to the ball because he's feeling lonely. All right, show me what's going on with the ball. Like, where is the placement when I'm starting here? Where's that placement?
Where's the ball?
Yeah.
So it'd be like right about him?
Okay, before it went that direction, before you chose to go that direction.
Before it chose to go that direction, maybe a little bit.
Okay, so just palming it there.
Yeah.
He's within his shoulders. This makes sense. If I put up walls here, the ball and his core is within the space of his shoulders. Okay, where are you going to?
We're going up this way.
Right, so show it to me. Right, and then where are you going?
Going back.
Right, okay. So he has changed direction in the core, but for the most part, when he produces power, he's in a very tight position.
Yeah, and that's why the jumps are short for me,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm used to maintaining a very small frame.
Yeah, a tight position.
But the wider you can get, the better it is.
Right. So the improvement, as far as the leg piece goes, is working on your hockey jump and trusting that that length and quick turnaround power is there for you. As far as what's going on in the core, trying to prove the strength, endurance, and ability to keep producing it, about this being tight in his frame, that's the core exercise I want him to work on. So, tight rotations. Pick this up from Amanda Nick Tuminello. Tight rotations, where everybody goes wrong is they do this. Hey, Macarena. Okay? That's where this guy does it wrong all the time. So my point is that I need to be tight as if my shoulders were changing direction. My knees, my hips, everything from my knees up should be allowed to have some body movement. I'm within this tight space the whole time. The other thing about that, show me the pull. He's pretty tall the whole time. He's not getting down and loading quite so much. He's pretty tall, so he has to produce, change of direction in a very high position. So not to say that you couldn't do tight rotations lower and you will feel more power, but your tight rotation should be about chest height and maybe a quarter squat. So from here again, get going slow with your shoulder as if this was glued to my chest. Try reps of 50 to 100. I'm going to give David. I'm just going to face him here. I'm going to give him a space that he's going to smash off the wall.
You want to start standing?
Yeah, he's staying standing. So I'm going to be here, and he's just going to go, changing his shoulders, and how fast can he go? Go, shoulders, shoulders. There you go, go. All right, do the pull for me. There's so much power coming off of it. All right, so let's torch this guy. Now what I'm going to be looking for, and most important, is you're going to see, because he's got big shoulders, you're going to see the back of his shoulder and the front, and because I want everything. Remember, the knees and the hips can move a little bit, but he needs to feel planted. So if you're watching this on the video, you're going to be seeing how much is coming from the midsection and how tight that turning is. When it goes wrong, and it is going to go wrong because he's going to get tired, he's going to take the ball and do this, and you're not going to see his shoulder girdle and core twisted. So I'm going to give him 100 to do, and I want to see if he can have this back play because that core is rotating nice and tight. Let's go. Half. Show me the pull. How's that feel?
I feel it.